is the second skill that you can be working on at home this week. I wish we could do this in class together, but I think you guys are going to be able to get off to a great start practicing this at home. The equipment you'll need to practice this is your odor tin. You also want some adhesive. I'm using duct tape, but any kind of sticky tack or regular tape would work. And then you need a box with flaps on the top. It can be any box. It doesn't have to be a special box as long as it has flaps and it's a fairly small size box. So what I want you to do is you'll take your odor tin, duct tape it down to the bottom, and then you'll close up your box. So put the small size in, and then alternate the flaps. So you have a closed up box, but you still have this nice little seam here. So the seam pretty much equates to the way that we train to the circle in the hole in the square box, right? So that's how the dogs get their noses as close to source as possible. And here, when we start working on flat cardboard boxes, the way that the dogs get their nose as close to source as possible is by putting their little snoots right here on the seam. So when you begin training this, first thing I would do is just have your box on the ground and let your dog come over and sniff it. They're going to recognize that your odor cocktail is in there. That's going to be a familiar concept to them. Some dogs are going to be brilliant overachievers and they're going to offer their indication right then and there, and you'll click and reward and throw a big party. Other dogs are going to need a little bit more shaping to get to their final response. At the very beginning, of course, it's okay just to take a nice nose on the seam. That's a perfectly appropriate indication right at the beginning, is just a nice little boop on the nose, and then you can start prompting that down or lure the dog down for the indication. And do a couple repetitions just like that. You can work on just shaping that indication. This is going to feel different to the dogs than the indication on the odor obedience box, so let them figure it out. Some common problems that you may run into are that the dogs think that this box is a toy, that this is a super awesome thing to kick around. If that happens, practice by putting your boxes against the wall where they can't be kicked. You can also weigh them down with something like a water bottle to prevent them from sliding all over the place. I have very slippery floors in my house, so I like to use kind of the anti-slip woven plastic weave that you may put as drawer liners. I like to use that so my boxes don't slide around too much. But get your dogs comfortable on their indication here, and what you really want is that nose on the seam, and then whatever else happens after that. If your final response is going to be a down, you would want that nose right on the box and then a nice beautiful down, click and reward. If your indication involves a nose and a look back, or a nose and a hold, that's the same indication that you'd want to get on this box. So let me go get Bentley and he'll demonstrate his technique. All right, so Bentley's going to show us his indication. Bentley, search. Good. Bentley has a very flamboyant indication. Search. I know, search. Good boy. So he does like to get his nose right on the box, and he does like to talk a little bit while he does that. Come back here. Good. Search. Good. Search. Good boy. Let's flip this another way. Good. So what I always like to see for the dogs is I like to see their noses on that seam, and I like to see them hold that pose until you release it. Good boy. Let's do that from the other angle. You go, come over here. Good boy. Do it again. Good boy. After your dog gets super confident at their indication on a single box, bring out two boxes and let them work on discrimination on the two boxes, so you be sure that you get the nice beautiful indication that you shaped on one box on two boxes. Once you move up to two boxes, start working your way up to 3, 4, and 5 boxes. And I have a practice exercise that I'll send you In a few days after you've had a chance to get this, that'll work on proofing off of boxes and working on container searches. Practice this at home. If you run into any trouble spots or if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.